just love working with my hands, and I just love that you're constantly learning. Even the best potters in the world, there's still more to learn. So I used to call myself like a bit of a jack of all trades, and I'd try everything once, right? But I'd never stick to anything. And then I found pottery, and it really just captured my interest, right? And I'm here like 8 years later or something, and I still love it just as much. I found a pottery wheel at my art school, and I just kind of got lost in it. But I got lost in terms of I went straight down the route of building that specific skill, not making something as art. I wanted to know how to use it and work it and be good at it. I am a practicing potter full-time, and I'm also a pottery teacher, and I have my master's in art and design. Think of like, oh, I want to make something that would suit holding this specific food, or I want an oatmeal bowl. So, you know, just personally, I want this, or my partner will just be like, can you make me a fermentation crock? So I do that. But I mean, at the same time, the clay at the end of the day and at the start is what essentially inspires everything, right? I know how it's going to look when it turns out, and so that influences the whole kind of creation and making process. Generally, because I'm a wheel thrower, I sit down at the wheel and I have like a list of stuff that I got to make, or I have a shape I want to make. And so I sit down and I've got my clay, and it's wedged, which is the process of kind of warming it up. Same way you'd stretch for running, you've got to kind of awaken the clay. And then, so you center it, and then you just start to like open it up and hollow it out. And then you kind of constantly mitigating pressure and speed and all of these things to bring the clay from a lump into a form.
Met her when she was in her last year at uni doing her masters. I act as a bit of a sounding board, and we'll talk about the shapes and stuff that she wants to develop, work on or improve.
The thing about George is that he's a very good listener, and I'm a very good talker. So he's just that sounding board that I think someone with a busy mind needs, right? So if I see a shape that I like, I'll talk to him about it and I'll get his take on it. And he's a designer as well, so he kind of understands these things. And so he's always there to listen, and he's always there with like his hot take on something I've made, even if I don't ask for it. But I think it's important to listen to criticisms, you know, and he's not afraid to give it. So it's a very conducive relationship. And also, you know, if I need help, he's there to help me. If I need him to build me something, he's there to try to build it. That's
what happened. Help out when I can. Often just someone for her to rant to about when her process is or isn't working out as she wants it to.
Oftentimes it will come back. Then once it's off the potter's wheel, it's like left to set up for like a couple days, depending on the kind of humidity and the air temperature. And then you trim it. You flip it over, and because it's a little bit drier, you carve off the excess clay, and that's how you get like stuff like the little foot rings on the bottom. So you can't throw that obviously because you're throwing from that direction. And then once it's trimmed, I pop them through the kiln once to be bisque fired, which is kind of half vitrified. It means that the object is still porous. And then it gets dipped into glaze, which the most basic way of explaining glaze is powdered glass suspended in water.
reasonably refined, but there's some personality to most pieces, whether it be in slight differences, variations in the glaze or the shape. Yeah, so each piece is sort of a little bit different, a little bit unique.
So I hope that 50 years down the line I can say I've had a nice long career as a potter and my body still works. That's quite important.